You got Jersey, then you got North Jersey, then you got New York. Jersey City is like North Jersey. You feel me? You don't really. It's not like you feel that whole North Jersey thing throughout the whole state. Nah, it's a little different than that. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's a different level of pride. It's almost like if you think about it from a standpoint of Newark, New Jersey, like when you have people from East Orange claiming they're from Newark, they won't ever say that to a person who lives in Newark, but they'll say it if you live in Philly.
this the crazy part though, because it's like it's streets where you could be on. Like you could be, for instance, uh, you could be at Seton Hall and be in Irvington, like at the very corner of it, you be in Irvington, and then you pass a store, and you're in Newark. So
Yeah,
it's like it's a bunch of towns right around Newark, and it's easy. It could easily be South Orange. It could easily be
yeah.
Irvington. Yeah. So
So it was important during those days for like the redlining when they wanted to keep you out of a certain school district and it
right.
had nothing to do with like
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. Right.
but
Who am
we're
I?
here. Exactly. What do we know? Nah, but we're here. So welcome to Love Us the podcast. We are back for another episode. This is episode we don't know. At this point we are lost. But at the same time found. Because we
Right.
found you and you found us. Right. I am your co-host, Sema'j, aka Oxford Bully, aka Big Sexy with the glasses.
And I'm the other half. It's your boy Alex the Jet on that, aka Hubert Leon Johnson, aka the kid with the iPhone that still has a home button on it.
Definitely. We have a lot to unpack today, so I wanted to go ahead and hop right in it. Before we do, how are you feeling today? How are you mentally, spiritually?
I'm blessed. Another day above. Was able to get in the studio with some of the Rain Forever click. So the Chosen One coming soon. Genius coming soon. Troy got something coming. So yeah, we working. We creating.
Perfect.
How are you?
I'm blessed. Highly favored. Had a wonderful weekend. So
Nice.
it's funny because when you get into something that's in your calling, the rooms you can, or something, when you start finally using your gift productively and you put the work in behind it, the rooms you can get into, the relationships you can foster, will build and foster, the opportunities that come your way are just crazy. So over
It's
the
like
weekend,
exponentially increase.
yes. So over the weekend, I was blessed because I met some dope people. The most, I guess, important part as well is I performed. I had my first like real set, and I'm so grateful that I had that experience. I kind of was like thrown into the jungle almost. You know, I'm going into a set where no one knows me. I don't have any supporters in me. Like I don't have like fans who can at least
And they're
be
dolo.
like, yeah. So I'm going into a foreign setting, not really knowing what to expect. And when I get there, like the reception was just so well. I was able to speak openly, speak freely. I was able to sing. I was able to be myself, and I just think it was dope. Like it's definitely a night I'm never going to forget. And like it should be real. Like who really gets an opportunity to perform at an art museum, like the art museum, and that'd be your first show.
Right. So talk to me about the 5 minutes before you went up. Like when you know, all right, I'm up next. I'm getting ready to go on, but I'm not there yet, but I'm right at the edge of it. Talk to me about that moment.
Well, first off, I want to give a huge shout out to Ramin, and he's the CEO of a company called The Weekender. They're the ones who put the program together. It's called Artish at the Philadelphia Art Museum. And the whole goal behind it is to get individuals between the age of 21 years old and 45 years old to get involved in art, want to start purchasing art, and just get involved in that culture. There was a crowd of, I want to say it was like 1,700 people there, so it was a huge crowd. It was just a vibe. Everyone was dressed to the T, dressed to the nines, and just there to have a good time. No matter what age run they were in, they were socializing. Also, just from a business standpoint, in terms of networking, there were city councilmen, there were CEOs, there were business execs. It was just a great environment to surround yourself and just be open and immersive. But to get back to your question about the next 5 minutes, I brought up all of that because it was a well-oiled machine. It was
nice.
Like it was just business from the start to be end. So at the beginning of it, you had to get escorted everywhere as an artist because we had our own little private green room. They like really showed us great hospitality. So once again, shout out to Ramin for everything that he did on his end. But getting back to like the 5 minutes before, that's actually what was giving me my time. So it was like, all right, 15 minutes coming. And all right, like once I heard the 15-minute mark, everybody, like all the artists are back there. So you had Soraya, who was first who went after me, and then you had Bino French, who was like the headliner of the show. Both did phenomenal jobs. But in terms of like their the ambiance of the room, also you had DJ AMH and you had DJ Caution, who did the music backing and did a phenomenal job. It was just a vibe though. Everyone was there like socializing, dancing, singing, and we were all just playing different music that we listened to, and it was funny to see how everyone had a very similar music taste. But during that 5 minutes leading into it, I was actually like, I started getting in game mode. I started feeling as if I was in the locker room at the Link or before a basketball game growing up. So I put the headphones in and started listening solely to Sema'j. And as I'm doing that, I started like losing myself, if that makes any sense. I no longer was, yes, in a great way. I was no longer at this event because I was hydrated with holy water, had great food in me, and I'm there. So I'm no longer just singing the beat that's on the track. I'm harmonizing, I'm riffing, I'm in that zone.
Yeah.
So then we take that walk, and I'm getting escorted down this like long hallway. It's almost like the walk you're gonna take to the field. And like I'm seeing the people that are there. It's like it's crowded within the hallway. It's crowded once you get to the performance place. And it's just like, oh, this is real. And then I get on stage. So I'm getting my bearings, putting my water bottle down, like talking to Caution so we can get right. And I'm just like, it's never dawning on me that I'm about to perform. In my mind, I'm getting the opportunity to go party in front of these people. So like Caution's he's getting me lit for real because he's playing all this Afro beats. So I actually in real time switched what my intro song was going to be to an unreleased track called Wine for Me. I thought it was a great transition. So they intro me, then I start performing, and like next thing you know, I'm done.
Right.
And it was like a 25-minute set, but I was just so, actually probably 30 minutes. But long story short, truly enjoyed it, but it's something I'll never forget because like now the nerves that I had going into it, I didn't feel it all during the performance. Yeah. But now I'm moving forward, it's kind of like I'm addicted to it. Like I want that. I need to know when's the next time I can do that again. Like be in that place where I'm entertaining, but I'm also like, I'm just your friend on stage. I'm the one who's like speaking for you through this mic. But I'm speaking for you in a way that you didn't even know you wanted me to.
That could be addicting. I've heard a lot of the big, even like comedians say that feeling is something that they chase. So
something I want to say is that everybody always wonders what's the first 5 minutes or like what it's like leading into it. The feeling after it is the feeling you really chase in a weird way. Because now it's like I did it. Like I went so many years wondering what it's going to be like for that moment when you're on stage and you're performing it, and like you've seen so many great people do it, but when you do it, then you have people who've done it way more times than you've done, and they tell you did a great job, or people who don't even look like you, don't sound like you, don't live the same life as you, and come to you from far away or up on the next level of the art museum saying, yeah, when I heard this, like I had to come see who was performing. Like it's things like that where it's just like, wow, like when I made that, I was in a dark place, but it was able to give you joy.
Crazy.
But yeah, I don't want to take up too much time, but it was definitely a dope experience.
Take up as much as you want. That's a feeling that we shoot for in our own respective lives, right? But to be able to experience that within your passion and within something that's going to bring in a bunch of finances for you, can't beat that.
Listen, man, as much as the goal is to be financially secure, that's for everybody. What we do it because we love it, but we do it because we're good at it, and we know because we're good at it, it can lead to X, Y, and Z.
Right.
But something that I feel has made me wealthy in a way is the relationships. the people I've met because I stepped out of my comfort zone and did something uncomfortable.
And the opportunities that relationship brings, right?
Exactly. So, and my cameraman, like JT, was there to capture the entire time, and I'm so excited for these visuals to come out and pictures because he did a phenomenal job. But also, just even with DJ Caution, I've met him through just from going out around the city before, but to experience that moment with him as my DJ for the moment, it was like right. I already had a relationship, so had me not being who I am, I wouldn't have had that, and there wouldn't have been that immediate chemistry. Like you would have never thought that was our first time of doing that. The people I met on Saturday, to Ramin, to Sal Major, who was a big part of me even getting the gig. So it's like the people you meet throughout this journey, it's probably even better than like the quote unquote dollars in a way, because those relationships are going to build to more dollars.
Facts.
What do I know? I'm just somebody who just did his first performance at the Art Museum, man. But nah, I do want to ask you though, because you brought up studio. Where are you at artistically, mentally, like for the chosen one? Because first off, round of applause to you for that marketing vid you put out. Like that was super dope, and it got me super excited. And I'm supposed to be on the project, and it has me more excited to like just want it to be done already.
Right.
It's like walk us through how you're feeling. What can we expect, or whatever you want to share. I know nobody's gonna tell you everything.
I feel fulfilled because as a creative, you take it serious. You understand the impact of the things that you create. So I've got a bunch of these things that I've written down on my phone, and I know they're going to have a lot of impact on people. And I've got to find ways to kind of harness my excitement and harness all of the emotions that come with that while it's not out. So right now, I'm just trying to create the best version of this that I can do. Other than that, I free flow it. The last 3 tapes, they've all been in chronological order. They actually all lead up. 908's my origin. My origin goes into how I'm connecting my origin with the place in which I'm moving into is where you get 908, the connector, and then the 1% is when you connect your origin with where you are. Then I realize that I'm the 1%, and the compilation of all of those things, right? My origin, the way I've connected that to where I am and becoming and embracing who I am has let me know that I am the chosen one, right? So the chronology there is going to be reflective, not only in the artwork, but just in and everything I do is going to be there's going to be this hidden divine chronology behind it, because it's all authentic, right? It's all coming from a real place. I'm all following my gut and the creativity part. So everything is what it needs to be.
It's crazy when you say that, because you bring up the chosen one, and in my mind, my first initial thought is thinking of divinity, or a higher power, like someone had to choose you, or maybe just the universe itself is the one who chose you. But I'm thinking about it from a standpoint.
We all get chosen to impact someone. I really think that's what it all comes down to. Right? We all get chosen. A lot of us don't answer that call, but that's what we're all here for.
It's crazy, because I was thinking earlier that I have more control over my life now that I let God handle all the things above me. So kind of circling back to the idea of controlling what you control. When you just live life, like, and obviously you're strategic and you're gonna always think a couple steps ahead, but just truly be in the moment and allow yourself to have gratitude and appreciation for like the smallest things or the things that truly matter. Everything else kind of takes care of itself.
Does it? Because a lot of times the things that's going wrong, we're saying there's other reasons why it's happening, when the only reason you really can do anything about is you. If you take your portion of or what you're contributing to the issue, you might not have many issues. So That's just that's how I look at it. It's like control what you can. It's too stressful to try to change the weather and try to make people look at you a certain way and try to make you act a certain way. All these things that you really have no influence, very little influence over. You know what I mean? It's like, why even take energy and mental capacity trying stressing over those things when they're not stressing over you? If that makes sense. You know,
When they're not
whether
stressing over
whether
you.
you're alive or not. So soaking over the rain don't really make sense. Right?
Let's really dive into that. So your priority right now is your peace.
Indeed.
So why would you focus on someone or something that they can't they're not even focusing or prioritizing on their peace? Like there's already a disconnect because like essentially we have different lives with different people, but
Two different goals. Right.
we need one common goal. If my goal right now is peace and your goal is to win, like not, I'm thinking, so we go to something, make it very.
Rowing a boat. If we both on a boat and I want to row and you want to do something other than row, it just makes going wherever we're going that much more difficult.
But if my goal is I want to row and your goal is you want to rest, it ain't gonna work for us because I'm on a different timeline than you. And I hate to bring up time but it's just
that's all everything is though, time and distance.
I bring that up because I'm thinking about the idea of control. Back to Saturday. Before Saturday, I was trying to figure out what I'd wear, what the set list was going to be, and all the different things, right? And up until that day, when I did my morning stuff I do on Saturdays, like all work and work out, different things. I just came back to the crib, like, yo, let me throw on some Sema'j music real quick and see what it is. That's when I finally finalized like the track list. And it had nothing to do with they're gonna like this one or this one's gonna sound good in this arena. It all boiled down to, yo, that made me feel good. And when I heard these tracks in this order, I was like, that's it.
Right.
So if you think about that in life, if you that's ultimately just being yourself.
That's all it is.
It was a feeling that only I could feel. And it was just like, if I feel good about it, then they're going to receive it that much better.
Exactly.
So think about that in your everyday life. If you hand in work at work, if you can say for the ones who do work for a company, and you don't feel good about it, what makes you think that they're going to feel good about it when you already have your doubts about it?
Right.
Same thing for relationships and everything like that. When you think about the opportunity of, wow, what I'm doing doesn't even make me happy. So how is that going to benefit everybody? Right.
It goes back to that football stuff, right? It's like if you gotta think about that play, or if you got a second game. And granted, sometimes we overthink things, but if you gotta question it, if you gotta question your work ethic, if you gotta question how hard you did something or how well you did it, it's like, how well did you do it? How hard did you do it?
Exactly. And last thing I'll bring up about the show is like now, in terms of song selection, I'm so much more confident about what I'm going to do next time. And that's beyond mine. It's from like hearing, obviously, their reaction to what I did, but also to the other performers. It was just like, oh, so you guys do not care what we sing. Just as long as you can feel like we have a connection and it sounds good, I can go sing the ABC and you still gonna rock with me?
Right.
That's like, it's crazy, but it makes sense though. Because people love live concerts because they love the idea of connecting with something that doesn't quite feel real on a daily basis. Like you hear the song every day, but when you put a person in front of it, it's like, wait a minute, like.
Right. And then you put them in front of you, it's like, it changes the entire dynamic of the song.
Like you're responsible for why I got through that day, or you're responsible for, you know what I'm saying, or you will be the reason now why I have a smile on my face on my down day, or on a down day when I want to feel down. You're that person who has secured that moment for me whenever I need it.
Right. That's crazy.
So that's something if you want to think about that from a greater context. You secured a moment for me when I need it. Like,
we don't even know each other. It's crazy. Yeah, it's hard.
think about your song Smile.
Mm-hmm.
You secured a moment for somebody when they can't even remember when they smiled last, why they smiled, or if they even have a reason to smile. You just gave them that moment to remember who the fuck they are.
Right.
Like, bro, that's nuts.
That is crazy. In like 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes. It's crazy.
2.5 minutes just made 24 hours that much more impactful.
That's deep. Like that. It's super deep. Super deep.
But man, what the fuck do I know? But
right.
Thinking about being deep, you watched the Oscars last night?
I didn't watch it, but man, if I had of, I don't know if I would have missed anything. Like, I mean, everything that took place last night is online. Every angle. I mean, it looked like Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, bro.
But I mean, you know, on a serious note, you know, how can I say this? You see people often enough. You see behaviors, and I think in a situation like that, with a guy like that, you know, given what we know about him, you know, I think there's something deeper there than just what took place on stage. And, you know, social media is going to be social media, right? Because social media is made up of people. But yeah, you know, I think a lot of what I've seen online is going a little bit too far in terms of just kind of capitalizing off of the aura of the potential joke. But, you know, people that do things like that, you know, they're usually going through something. So, you know, whatever, you know, my best wishes to the family, for sure.
That's it right there.
And,
as men, where do we go to hurt? Like,
we go to what, and this all goes back to control. I think we go to what doesn't make us feel vulnerable, right? We want to be vulnerable without being vulnerable until you get to that point, right? But I think in the industry of entertainment, especially when you got the biggest wigs all together, it's like there's a level of competition there. And that competition for us sometimes comes in our mental health, because it looks like you're tougher when things don't affect you as much. But we all know we're all human at the end of the day, so can't really avoid that stuff.
I think about it in two different respects. There were two people hurt last night. Mm-hmm. Chris Rock was hurt. He was physically hurt. He was slapped on television. As a man, I give him a lot of kudos for
the way he was able to just continue.
The reservation and professionalism that he was able to move forward. Hand claps, applause for him. But for Will Smith, I'm not here to say he's wrong. Because I think about it from a social standpoint. We always say we need to protect our Black queens. Mm-hmm. He was protecting, sorry, I said pre, not pro. He was protecting his queen. That's his wife. You protect your wife by any means necessary. Mm-hmm. His wife has a disease, alopecia, that has been vocally or verbally communicated on social media.
And publicly,
now, to say you do not know, so publicly, to say you do not know is not really professional on your behalf as someone who is a comedian who is supposed to be have the wherewithal to know where you are in social climates. So I hold you accountable for knowing this, because this is how you're paid. You're paid off knowing pop culture, the information that the common person may not know, but also making it funny.
Especially if it can be if that situation can be avoided, for sure. Yeah.
Exactly. So I bring it up to say, I understand why both parties would be mad, because nobody's wrong. We're all just trying to figure this shit out. But I bring up the idea that in that moment, everyone can say, oh, he could have just walked up there and said, yo, bro, relax. We're not going to do this. But there's two sides to it. This has been something that's been brewing for a moment. Again,
for sure.
There's evidence of Chris Rock saying things in the past. But I'm actually going to remove Chris Rock from it. as a male, there are some times where you just like, yo, the next person who says some stupid shit about me, it's over.
Right. Right.
So
right.
that's a component. But also, at first he did laugh, and usually we do laugh when we're in uncomfortable situations. Sometimes we laugh and it's just like, yo, bro, shut the fuck up if I stop the chat. You know what I'm saying? So like, but I think it really resonated when he looked over
saw her. Yeah,
and saw that pain. Right. If you looked at your significant other, your mother, your sister, or any of them, and you saw pain that could think about only you know them to a way the world doesn't know, and you see the pain that they had before they break down or has led to maybe conversations that weren't shared, maybe suicide, maybe wanting to quit your profession, maybe not even wanting to leave the house, you know what I mean, different things that deal with identity and personal well-being, and you see that, how are you going to respond? Are you going to have all this reservation to where you're going to make this perfect decision? Or
I think, or what?
You stop the shit out of Madagascar,
like, to be honest, I feel like if that was gonna happen, that was the best way it could have happened. Like, walk up, open hand slap, on my way back, I got a nice little smile. Yo, honestly, when I first seen it, I thought it was a joke, because Chris is smiling, he's giggling on the way up, Will's smiling on the way back. It's like, what the fuck's going on? And then when you hear him yelling in the crowd, keep my wife,
it's real.
It's like, oh, he's for real. He's for real. So yeah, man, look, like, yeah, as a man, that's the response that, you know, at least culturally we've grown up thinking that's the right response, or that's the response to be admired. But you know, it's I don't even really do the thing about blaming anymore, or do the thing about whether he was right or wrong. Like, I don't get stuck on that. I get stuck on what causes people to do things and what are you going to do going forward. Right, that outburst, those outbursts, and even the emotions that he showed afterwards, there's something brewing there, right? And it could be possible that Jada's condition is a little bit more serious than maybe it is being publicly advertised, and that could have caused that reaction. You don't know what it is, right? And it's tough nowadays where, like, there's a camera everywhere, there's access to everywhere, but the only way to really understand someone is to know them, and right, when you got this world where everyone's like almost screaming their entitlement for their opinions. It's like people got a lot to say about it, and it like I'm and from like my gym to like the UFC, they're using those photos, and it's like it's just an iconic moment. Like, it's one of the biggest events in entertainment, movie industry, right? And then there's so much star power there, so many eyes watching this thing. So
listen,
I couldn't, man. That shit gonna last forever.
Our children will see this in their McGraw-Hill history book.
Right.
Nah, but
But honestly, you know, I think there's some positive to come from this. It kind of, you know, in a, and we joke about it, but in a world where like people are so quick to cancel you, it's like, it's cool to know that, you know, you could show someone how not to disrespect you without having to ruin their life in a way. And I know it's a kind of weird way of looking at it, but like, some people just need to be slapped. Metaphorically. Metaphorically,
you're right though.
People don't need to be pushed off and shunned into a dark corner. Some people just need to be shown that wasn't right. Now, granted, that wasn't the example that I would use, but the show, right? Because he could have went home and everyone could have been, oh, he's talking about Jada and cancel him. And no, he got up there, he slapped the shit out of him, sat back down, said, don't say nothing else. I could resonate with that moment, man. Honestly, I could resonate.
Because you think about it, he didn't grandstand and go home and tweet, next time I see you, or make a video. He addressed it face to face. So that was more so an invitation. Hey, I'm showing you I have disdain for what you just said and did, especially to my wife. But
it's so much, I'm gonna do it where we at.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do this shit right here. Yeah,
in real time. That's so old school and so player. That's pushing P. Like, that's.
And what's even more P than that, he won. He won an Oscar. Like he got to give a speech, and that's why I like how he took that moment. Right? It wasn't like what I did was right. It wasn't like what he did was wrong. It was, this is what's happening, and I can respect that. I can respect that.
I take it one step further. It showed me who really had the juice. Will Smith slapped this man on TV, went back to his seat, sat down, yelled at him, totally ruining the schedule of the Oscars. Man. This is the most elite, prestigious thing for white people, if we're being honest. You know what I mean? Because for our culture, they're still trying to get us as fans for these type of awards.
Right.
This is why you would have a Meg Thee Stallion perform for the Bruno and Kanto track, which don't get me wrong, I'm so happy she had the opportunity, but no, that's not the song that we need that on. But we're going to rewind that back to Will and Chris. And I'm thinking like, wait a minute. This man just did all this and no one's even remotely running to him with security to check on Chris or Will. Then they let him stay the entire show. Allowed him to go on stage, accept the award.
And got a standing ovation.
A standing ovation. And went completely over time. Now, if you want to talk about having power and juice,
that's power. And it's good use of it. It's good use of it. Maybe not the slap, but I'm not even arguing that the whether or not that's right.
Past that.
Yeah, he did it.
If there was ever a ego stroke or a male macho competition between Chris and Will, that should have showed you, hey, listen, Chris, Will a little too big for for all of us. So,
turn the other cheek. For real. And this is great. They taking pictures smiling with the whole family smiling. He's celebrating after they're listening to his music and everything. He got pulled, man. That's a big move. I didn't look at it like that. That's a big move.
Bro, he's bigger than the Oscars because people only tolerate what they have to.
Right.
That's it. You tolerate what you have to. If you're, it may sound stupid or not stupid, but insensitive. A lot of times people remain in abusive relationships because of a certain need that's being met. Yeah. And they personally feel like they cannot remove their situation from this situation without it coming with like consequences or ramifications. So they remain. The Oscars weighed those options because they did blank out a lot of people's screens so you wouldn't see that moment. But they didn't remove them because they said, we're going to have to, I'd rather leave him here and people be mad he stayed as opposed to him getting kicked out and dealing with that wrath.
Whoa. Yeah. Because then it would have been every reason why he did that, right? It was every reason.
We would prefer Chris not ever want to come back because we didn't defend him, as opposed to Will, who's going to probably be nominated again. But
what do I know? Man,
I see they formally opened a review between the altercation between Chris and Will. All that really means is we're going to see who actually cares or not. And if it's not really that big of a deal between the people who were there and saw it, as well as like the people who matter, we're going to move on past this shit.
Right.
But no, I think it opens up a broader conversation about protection in terms of protecting yourself, protecting the ones you love, but also protecting your brand and integrity. Because there were so many ideas of protection during that moment.
Indeed.
I think you can start off with the idea of protecting your brand. From Chris Rock. Like, from that standpoint, I do not know if I would have had that kind of preservation to not defend my. No, I'm not just going to keep talking. That's me speaking, though.
Right.
From an emotional standpoint and knowing, not just saying this, but understanding my history.
Yeah, I don't know what I would have done. I mean, kudos to him for being able to keep that together like that, but that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. At minimum, I've got to see Will again. At minimum.
Listen, I understand we have history, we have a background of knowing each other, but you gotta see me.
Gotta see me. You gotta see me.
I don't mean anything that's going to like rescue your life or anything like that, but you gotta catch this fade.
We will. You know where? Yeah, you gotta come through. Will, come on through. Will, I'll talk to you. Yeah,
no
you got
phone, no social media. We don't need no friends there. It's me and you. And where the chips land, they may.
They way.
And where the elbows and where the elbows and the knees land, they may.
Man. That's
where the
tough.
choke slam and the fist land, they may.
Right. Yeah, that's a tough one, man.
Nah, but I say this in a joking matter because both people are still alive, so we can have this conversation. But it leads to a different conversation of how do you deal with disrespect? Because so many, that's a big challenge we have. Nipsey brought it up, and so many other old heads in my life brought it up. So many young, I can't call them young anymore because they're not even here with us. So many African American males are not here with us due to how we deal with disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of saw a visual representation of how to deal with disrespect from two different parties. Will felt his wife was disrespected, so he dealt with it in real time. More of the Malcolm X approach. We saw a real time, I'm going to turn the other cheek. And we don't, only time will tell what's to happen next. But in real time, Chris Rock turned the other cheek. That's a more Martin Luther King approach. Because he didn't even come back with a joke, which I was kind of expecting. Like, I'm going to...
He made light of the situation, but yeah.
So...
He understood that he didn't want to go down that road anymore.
Thinking about it, that kind of makes the situation that much more commendable from both. Because one, yes, he slapped him, but he slapped him.
Right.
He didn't shoot him. He didn't take this. Like his kids still have a father living.
Right.
Chris Rock, their father still can provide monetarily for their family.
Right.
I'd rather be able to come back and say sorry and shake a person's hand than be sharing showers.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Even Chris is still commendable. He didn't press charges, so it's like I'm ready for that red table talk.
Hope it comes.
I don't want Jada there. I don't. I want this to be an official man-to-man convo. Because as a world, as a society, that's what needs to be seen.
Right, yeah.
These are two people who both have the right to be mad at each other. Now what comes next?
Right. Let's see. Only time will tell, like you said. You never know if it was even a good decision or a bad one. You know, this could bring them closer. This could bring Will closer to whatever the issue really is. It could bring, them all together to some type of, acceptance of whatever is really going on. So, like you said, time will tell. And that's the beauty of, being able to be alive to fix your issues is, you never know how things resolve in the end. Yeah.
And now from a selfish standpoint, we all get better because of it.
Because we get to see from people's mistakes and or good decisions. Yeah.
Exactly. There may be one day where we go to the Grammys and you may have the thought of slapping the shit out of somebody thinking they're funny on stage. And I get to say, yo, Lee, chill. Because remember, we have the blueprint.
Right.
Yo, I'm cracking up though. Nah, but
That's really a crazy moment, you know. It
nah,
really is.
but from an immature standpoint, he really slapped the shit out of him at the Oscars, so that's funny.
At the Oscars, bro.
And then won the biggest award you can win.
Right. What did he win? Best male actor?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
bro.
You can't beat that with OJ, boy.
Best male actor, best male athlete at the ESPYs, the best male artist at the Grammys. Like when you win that, this is your world. So to slap somebody, win the biggest award, then go to a star-studded after party and start singing na 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 na.
Right. That's crazy. Yeah, that is crazy. He's different. West Philadelphia, born and raised, man.
On a playground.
Where you get slapped in your face. Whoa.
Nah, but yo, speaking of slap in the face, how do you think the teams felt about two big teams losing to St. Peter's?
Honestly, you see it every 2 or 3, 4 years. I mean, remember Florida Gulf Coast University, what they did back when we was in college? Who was before that?
But they won one game though. So the last team to I put it this way, George Mason went to the Final Four with the coach from Miami when he was coaching them. That's kind of how he got his gig too there. Huh?
What Miami?
Like no, University of Miami. He was at George Mason. Lauriega. It's something like Lauriega. They'll correct me when they see it and tell me I'm wrong, but it's like Lauriega, whatever.
Right.
Long story. So you have him. You have when Lehigh beat Duke. But when Lehigh beat Duke, that was it. I think that was the only win. So they didn't really get advanced.
Florida Gulf Coast in the Sweet 16?
Florida Gulf Coast lost the second game in the tournament. They won the first one and lost second, I think.
Okay, so who somebody recently, I remember them seeing them in the Sweet 16, maybe within the last 10 years. And it was like a really small team.
I only bring this up solely because they made it to the Elite Eight.
Right.
But they made it to the Elite Eight with New York and New Jersey players who are extremely undersized.
Mm-hmm.
Before teams made it kind of past that, but they kind of had a big player, meaning in notoriety as well as in physical stature. So this is a true through and through New York, New Jersey, skilled, athletic, like in terms of talent team, undersized, just dogs.
Just dogs.
And I was just super happy for it. From my own personal bias, being there, being a part of like winning cultures from that region where we won tournaments, where we were quote unquote the underdog. And it's just like, no, we're dogs. We know the game of basketball. And they had a coach that embodied it too. So
man, if there was somebody to play for to make you care, you could tell it's him.
If he was recruiting when I came out of high school, would have signed that letter before he even gave it to me.
Yeah, man, it's good to see that underdog story. You know, we all love to see it, but a lot of us live that story. So to see, you know, it kind of come into fruition for other people is beautiful to see as well. For sure.
Like, even the way he backed them up in press conferences and just you can tell there's love, even in his teaching style, through coaching, his teaching style. He grabbed the two players before they even came back to the huddle and were pointing out on the court. Like, you can't beat that. You know how many people would have been berated and yelled at for a mistake? And he used it as a learning opportunity. And like, that's how you turn boys to men.
For sure. Put basketball aside, yeah, because you know whoever puts the ball in the net most is gonna win, regardless of the person you are. But like these guys are gonna go on from St. Peter's and do good things in the world because of that.
So
for sure.
And what made my heart melt is it was a black male who everyone keeps calling soft spoken, but no, that's a real man.
Right.
Why do I have to yell and berate at you? You shouldn't be able to motivate yourself.
Right.
You know where you come from.
Right.
We know where we came from.
Right.
So it's my job to teach you. So I'm thinking about it from a standpoint, if I have the knowledge, my job is to teach you what you do not know. When have you ever went into a college course or a program, even from a corporate standpoint, for a conference, someone yelled at you because you didn't know something when you're coming to them for the knowledge, or it's already understood between two parties you do not know?
Right. Right.
So I hope that's a wake-up call to these white coaches out there who say this is just the culture I'm from, or this is just how sports are, or you need tougher skin. I'm making no, because there's no point in life where that's ever a norm again.
Right.
There's just not. There's never going to be a time I'm 40 years old, another male is going to yell at me for not doing something the correct way.
Right. Right.
But
just a guy. Just a guy.
Cause now let's think about that in reverse. I'm the player, you're the coach.
Right.
You make a dumbass play call and I come and yell at you, coach, why the F did you make that call? Blah, blah, blah. I'm berating you in front of other people.
I'm insubordinate.
Why is that disrespectful? Because we're both adults.
Right. Authority? Does authority give you prestige over disrespect? I don't know.
What authority do you have? Because if we're still amateurs, technically as a coach, you are an amateur coach.
That's fair.
It's amateur athletics. Because technically, we can't get paid for play. We can get paid for likeness, but we cannot get paid for play, which makes you an amateur coach. So when you make an amateur mistake, I can tell you about your amateur shit.
Right. What do I know?
But listen, when you start having a real convo, that's when.
Yeah, and that's when you're wrong.
But the beauty of that is I ain't got to rep that shit no more. I had my fun on Wednesday nights, baby. 130 teams, only undefeated team. Ask about me.
Uh-oh. As he sips tea. Is that tea?
Oh,
sips tea.
It actually isn't even tea. So it's
Synergy.
It's kombucha. Synergy raw kombucha.
Probiotic.
My first time drinking it. But listen, it was definitely a pleasurable experience, and I will be back.
Always.
Cause like kombucha, it's my first time trying. You ever had it?
Oh yeah, I get those at Target all the time.
Got it. I got mine at Aldi. Cause I went on this whole, I've been on this whole like, no sugar journey. But you know, I said it before. But this does have sugar in it. But apparently there's like a lot of good things that come from drinking kombucha. So I wanted to see what all the
and sugar is good for you as well. Like no sugar at all. If you've had a crazy overabundance of sugar, it's pretty good. But once you get back to balance, sugar's actually pretty decent.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I'm past the whole no sugar phase, but it's more so sure. Like it's like more so natural sugars. Don't get me wrong. I'll treat myself here and then, but before I was going nuts with the sugar.
Crazy, cuz. Yeah. And there's a lot of sugar and alcohol too, even though I'm an alcoholic. But see, it's too much. It's a lot of sugar and alcohol.
That is a big reason why I transitioned from doing the whole original holy water, tequila, and like the things I was drinking to Tito's. There's no sugar, baby.
Talk to me nice.
But also, the daily consumption is over. It's more like but we're still on the road. We're gonna be honest.
We're on the road, and no one said that the road would be easy. Yes, I know.
Yeah, I'm weak. Nah, man. What's next though?
Homecoming. That's what's next. Now we ain't gonna get that for a minute, But as we said, the road is long indeed. But the road to homecoming is going to be a road well journeyed.
Listen, when I get to the crib, I need y'all all with me. Just know that this homecoming is like no other. We all lucky because we get the chosen one, baby. The chosen one comes
June 4th.
And June 4th can't come quick enough.
Can't.
But I'm just telling you guys, the project you're getting from LX and Sema'j this year is nuts.
And we need y'all support because, to be quite honest, we are very, very good at making music, and not enough people know about that. So we need our supporters, and we need people who like or enjoy what we do, stand on what we stand on, and help us get on out there, man. Because we got impact, and we got talent. We deserve the rewards from being who we are.
Here's what I'll say. I agree with everything Ellis just said. But in terms of music, a lot of people resonate with our message and the way we convey it. So don't be selfish. Allow others to feel how you feel. And I'll leave it at that.
Don't be selfish. Share the light.
Hey, fuck do I know? So listen, that's all I got for y'all today, man. This has been a blessing. Got to talk to my boy. I'm healthy.
Indeed.
I'm spiritually and mentally wealthy. I'm still on a high from Saturday. And just understand that in life, we will all fall down. But it's about what's next, baby. Do you get up and do you live to fight another day?
Or do you get slapped on stage and have to keep going?
Or do you slap the shit out of somebody and start singing na 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 na? But nah, bullshit though. But listen, I am your highly favorite or lowly favorite, depending on who you ask, co-host Sema'j, aka October Bully, aka Big Six with the Glasses, aka you know the rest. Want to thank you guys for having me today. And
I'm Alexa
my boy,
aka Hubert Leon Johnson, aka Liquid IV kind of products placement guy in the background, aka I like my phone 7 or not. Don't cancel us. Don't not look at us. Don't judge us. Don't hate us. Love us because we love you.
And we love you a lot. Peace.
Lately I've been feeling like I'm going through. Lately I feel like I don't wanna be with you. Lately I just wanna be on my own. Lately I don't wanna pick up my phone. Lately I just wanna chill with my crew. Lately I just wanna go and drink brew, alcohol too. Lately I just been out of my zone. My house don't feel like a home. I come home and you ain't happy no matter what I do. You feel like I gotta be better, I feel like it's for you. You can suck my dick and get your shit and get the fuck out. No, this ain't no he say, she say, bitches coming from my mouth. I've been tripping, drinking, blacking every night. Uber Eats and holy water, baby, every night. Cause when I'm with you, I don't feel happy, don't feel like I wanna be home. Alright, I get it, I'm wrong. Now shut the fuck up and leave me alone. I've been going through and no one is aware but me. I feel so alone cause nobody is there for me. I feel like nobody really there for me. Nobody ever check on me. If I don't hit him up, probably won't hear from me. I just wanna know, why do I feel so alone? My house don't feel like a home, but yet I feel so cause lately I've been feeling like I'm going through. Lately I feel like I don't wanna be with you. Lately I just wanna be on my own. Lately I don't wanna pick up my phone. Lately I just wanna chill with my crew. Lately I just wanna go and drink brew, alcohol too. Lately I just been out of my zone. My house don't feel like a home.